Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Spill the Coffee. I'm super excited because today we are going to be talking about Pokemon, all things Pokemon. So as you can see here, I have the three Pokenerds that frequent any Pokemon-related streams and things, and Tuna just always streams Pokemon. So I feel like I picked a pretty good group of people here to be talking about Pokemon and Pokemon theories, which we'll talk about later, which is I'm sure going to be very exciting. But I'm Dee. If you didn't know, this is my podcast, and these are my friends. So if they would like to introduce themselves, that would be wonderful. Tuna, you can start us off.
Hi, my name is Tuna. Well, people call me Tuna. My name's Nari. People call me Tuna. Call me Tuna, please. I'm a huge Poke nerd. Thank you, Dee, for having me on this podcast. And I'm excited to talk everything related to Pokemon. So let's get going. Woo!
Yay! All right, Sky, go ahead.
I'm Chrome, and also go by Sky. Doesn't really matter to me. I'm a huge Poke nerd. I have a fuck ton of Pokemon shit everywhere around here. I don't actually think you can see anything in shot, but I do have this right here, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Nice. All right, Jub, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Justin. I am the biggest Pokemon of Pokemon nerds. I get very technical when it comes to Pokemon. So, I have lots to say.
All right.
Very
Oh, I
true.
forgot to ask you guys what you were drinking.
Oh.
Just tell me what you're drinking. I'm drinking a nice latte from Dunkin' that I just got delivered.
A ginger ale, a 7-Up, a water.
Wait.
That's a true gamer.
Yeah.
Oh,
I have...
and some other ones for later.
just the clinking in the background.
Clinking, yeah. Oh, you can't prepare, my dude. What you drinking there, Job?
I'm drinking iced tea that I got from the Pokemart,
Okay.
Ooh.
also known as Wawa.
Wow, iced tea, nice. I got a mocha cookie frappuccino from Starbucks.
Man.
Cheers.
Tuna has the taste of a teenage girl, and I love it.
I had
What? It's a
And?
good thing. It's a good thing. I said I loved it.
Dunkin' earlier before my tea.
Listen, I have to have a young side in
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. On to our questions. We have a lot of questions, but a lot of them are just us talking about fun Pokemon things. So I'm sure we'll get through them a little bit quick, and then we'll get into our Pokemon theories, which is going to be the exciting part of this episode, I think. But let's just start off with from the beginning. When did you all start playing Pokemon? Go ahead. Tuna, you can start us off since you're the
Okay.
old man. He has a history.
I am the old man. I do have a history. I started playing Pokemon. It was 1999. So I was 5 years old when I first got my first Pokemon game. It was, I believe, so I first got Pokemon Gold from Gen 2. That was the first Pokemon game I played. But once I started playing the second gen games, then I went back to playing the first gen games, and which was like I think I played Red, and then I played Yellow. But I think I mainly played Gold, Red. Then I went back to like I played Yellow, and I was like, I liked it, but I was like I prefer the other two better. And then from there I played Crystal, and then I started like ever since then I've been keeping up with it. Except Gen 5 and Sword and Shield. But yeah. I started 1999. So I'm old.
Oh yeah. Justin, what about you?
When did I start playing Pokemon?
Yeah.
I don't know the years off the top of my head. So
That's okay.
basically, my first Pokemon game that I actually played was Diamond and Pearl.
Me too.
I don't know how long ago that was, but previously before that, I was collecting Pokemon cards. So that's when I got into Pokemon. Was when I started collecting cards. Then after a few years, I revisited all the other games from like Diamond and back, and then continued from there. I did take a break between Gen 5 and 6.
Same as me.
Yeah, because I didn't really care about those generations.
Nice. So you were into cards before the games. Interesting.
Yes, I was collecting cards and just flicking them at my sister.
Naturally.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
I probably like messed up a bunch of like good cards.
When you're a kid, how you just even know?
Yeah, and I was sliding on them too.
All right, Sky,
That
go
has to be
ahead. What about
dangerous,
you?
yeah.
I think I started with the actually would have been the trading card game.
Oh, that's a throwback.
No, the thing is, I could not fucking figure it out because I was like 7. So I had no fucking clue, dropped it instantly, then go on to Pokemon Blue. Again, couldn't really figure it out because I was like 7 and I kind of like stole the Game Boy or something from my uncle. I don't even remember. He said I could have it now, so it's fine. But I also had a few DS games, so I had Gen 4 and I had Soul Silver and Heart Gold, which again didn't really finish. The first game I actually finished was when I got Black and White because I was still too young to really understand. Oh, there's 2 separate ones, even though they're the exact same game. So I ended up getting both, convincing my parents to get me both. So in 2011, when they came out, I got both games. I played completely through Black, and I also played. I think I played through White as well. So yeah, that was, and then ever since, kind of thing. I've just gotten the games, played through them, whatever.
Oh yeah.
It took Pokemon Black and White to really get into it though.
Oh yeah. So these guys know a lot more about Pokemon than I do. I'm like not as knowledgeable about these games as these three, so that's going to help a lot. I feel like I'm going to learn a lot during these discussions today, which I'm very excited for because I do love Pokemon. I'm just kind of new to it. All right. So, what is your
just the generations of Pokemon?
I mean, I like played it. The only game I ever played was Diamond, but like I never actually played it. Like I played it, but like I was like, "Oh, this is fun." Like I got to pick my little thing and then I run around for like an hour and give up. It wasn't like I got super into it until like Sword and Shield probably, like on the Switch. And then I was like, "Oh, this is like actually a lot of fun." Or whatever. I don't know. I just like wasn't super like knowledgeable about it previously. Yeah. So yeah, I'm new to it ish, I guess. Or Pokemon Go. That's really the only thing I ever like played like religiously because it was like fun on the phone and it wasn't like super hard, you know? So I still have the same account from 2016 that I still play on, so
I kept running out of Pokeballs, so I just ended up stop playing it.
You just buy them.
I didn't want to buy them.
Oh, I would never want to find out how much money I've spent on Pokemon Go. I don't want to know that information because I'm actually kind of scared. I feel like I've spent more on that game than I have on Valorant, and I spent a lot of money on Valorant. So, yeah, I love Pokemon Go. But okay, next one is your favorite Pokemon / generation / game. If you don't have a favorite in all three, just say which one's your favorite. But I can go ahead because I feel like I have an answer for all three. My favorite Pokemon is of course Mimikyu. Look at them. Wonderful. My favorite generation though is Gen 4. I love Gen 4. And my favorite game is Arceus, I think, actually. I really like that game. It's a lot of fun. I really like open world, anything exploration, so I really, really love that game, and I think that that might actually be my favorite Pokemon game. All right.
Wait till the RPG comes out.
Yeah, right. All right, who wants to go next? All right,
I think-
Tuna.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
He's very excited.
my favorite Pokemon, obviously, is technically Charmander. Like I love Charizard, but I just love Charmander.
Commander's so cute.
Yeah, he's so cute. I remember having a huge like a same thing like a bigger size uh you know plushie of it, and since I was a kid and everything. So yeah, Charmander for sure. My favorite generation. This is tricky. I also really like 4. I like Platinum and I like Soul Silver and Heart Gold a lot. So I feel like it is 4. I have a lot of nostalgia for 2 just because that's the one I started playing on. But overall, just because I get to play 2 again in Generation 4, I'm gonna go with 4.
Oh yeah, for
My
supremacy.
my favorite game is probably Platinum. If not, like really close second, obviously would be Soul Silver or Heart Gold, and then I would say the new one actually that came out, Scarlet and Violet. I actually enjoyed
Ooh.
for it being a real like obviously it has a lot of bugs or whatever not, and it's like people are really divided about it. I really enjoyed that game. So
I thought it was okay.
yeah,
I liked it.
The whole Terra type was just like weird.
I just like it that fact it was really open world. I just love that concept. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I liked having multiple storylines.
Well, that was
Yeah.
nice.
I
Yeah.
haven't played it yet.
Well, you should.
Yes, I need to.
Character designs in that game were pretty cool.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I agree with that. All right, Sky, go ahead.
My favorite Pokemon is Dragonite, which
Oh.
this specific one Justin got.
Ooh.
And my favorite generation is Gen 5. Mostly because it was my first, but my first like actual one I got into. And I love the story of that. And so I guess that would be the game. I don't know.
No,
I guess
it's up to you how you.
whatever. Then my favorite game is Pokemon Conquest actually.
Ooh.
I-
What is that?
It's a turn-based Pokemon turn-based strategy game.
Oh, super nerdy.
Yeah. But it's fun. Also Pokemon Rumble was fun too.
Yo, I love that game. Game was goated.
Hell yeah.
All right, Justin. What about you?
Okay. My favorite Pokemon at first, my overall favorite was Lucario. That's where my username came from at first. Megora, Megaura, Mega Aura, because Lucario was known as the Aura Guardian,
Oh.
the Aura Pokemon. So Mega Evolution Lucario, Megora, yeah, you get it. Now I just have a fascination for this guy. His name is Gumi.
Little guy.
It looks a little special. I also have a card for him. I'll pull it out real quick. If I can find it. Oh, there we go. This guy.
This was probably one of the most shocking facts I
Oh.
ever learned about Justin, was that
Not
his
this
favorite
guy.
Pokemon was Goomy. Like, you wouldn't expect that from somebody who, like, loves Pokemon the way that he does, right?
Hey, there we go.
Yeah. And then I also have like Mujo.
It's just a clean version of Mach.
Yeah, no. So there's something I want to touch upon because
Oh, is there a theory?
there's a theory that we're gonna talk about later. But favorite generation. I would say 4. Only because.
Oh, yeah, we're 3 for 3.
Well, that's because that's when I started playing Pokemon games, but like I don't really have a favorite. They all kind of like fascinate me because all the Pokemons, technically speaking, all have their own little niches. So competitively playing Pokemon, I would say like every generation has their own little unique style to it. But my favorite Pokemon game, even though it's not like baseline, like the normal Pokemon games that you normally play, I like Pokemon Ranger a lot.
Okay.
I don't know, either Pokemon Ranger or Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. Those games were pretty fun. I put a lot of time into that.
Nice. All right. I love the Gen 4 love. Gen 4 is such a good gen.
It's
Just
a great gen.
all right. What about your
course.
least favorite? Least favorite Pokemon
Ooh.
slash
Can I get into
generation
this?
slash game. Yeah, go
Sword and
ahead.
Shield.
Go
Alright,
right ahead. You
so-
seem very
I'm not even
passionate.
gonna.
So Sky said it's basically like Muck. So my least favorite Pokemon would have to be Muck. Even though
That's
my
fucked up.
favorite Pokemon is Goomy, Muck just looks disgusting.
That's so fucked up.
It's not, but
I can't believe
yeah,
this.
my least favorite generation would it probably have to be 6, which is the Alolan region. I didn't really like them. The character designs were pretty mid. But the legendary designs were pretty cool. Like all the Tapus, and then who were the other legendaries? Wait,
Isn't that 7?
6 legendaries.
Yeah,
wait.
that's 7.
Oh, is it 7?
Yeah, because
Oh
six
yeah,
is
no,
the
6 is the X and Y.
X and Y.
Yeah, okay, so X and Y, though the character design or the Pokemon designs for all the Pokemon were weird, but like Xerneas, Yveltal, Zygarde, Hoopa, Diancie, Volcanion,
X and Y, I didn't
their
mind.
legendaries were pretty cool. But like
Love
that's also
Hoopa.
when I stopped like playing Pokemon. Is that it? Oh,
Yeah.
least Pokemon game, favorite Pokemon game. Um, there's a game, Pokemon Shuffle. It's like Candy Crush to me. I didn't like it. Or
That's
So
Cafe
random.
Remix. Or Cafe Remix. Pokemon
Oh
Cafe
my
Remix.
God.
Yeah, that's my least favorite. I
agree.
played it. I was like, this is boring.
Pokemon Sleep.
So random. Oh yeah.
There's so many Pokemon.
Hasn't even come out yet. It's already your least
games.
favorite. All right.
That's it for me.
Who else?
Yeah, Muck is gross.
Sure.
Do you want to go? Sky?
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Fuck Bellsprout.
Why?
Ooh.
Whoa. We're throwing shots.
I
Why?
d-
Do you have a reason or do you just don't like it?
Bellsprout Tower.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, that's all you're gonna encounter in there.
Yeah, I know. And there's too many. Bellsprout Tower and having them at like the start. Starter route Pokemon are always just so fucking shit.
Yeah, that is true. I understand.
I mean, this is how it's supposed to. It's the starter route.
I don't know, show me something cool, get me
In Generation 4, I didn't like walking into a bunch of Bidoops and Starlies.
Right?
Like,
Oh
you just
my
get these
God.
cute-ass
Hello.
fucking starters, and it's just like, oh yeah, look at these cool Pokemon. Oh, and then now go off into the wild. Oh yeah, here's some dog shit.
Or
Here,
Geodudes and
here,
Zubats. I hated
Here, take
I
it.
hated them so much.
It's beautiful. Oh, and Zubat. Fuck
Zubat and
Zubat.
Geodudes. You always saw them in every cave.
Okay. Yeah, Jude. I agree with Jude. It's not my least favorite though.
Least favorite game, Sword and Shield.
Why?
Wow.
Oh, I just couldn't
I
get
will
into
comment
it.
on that. Sword and
I
Shield.
I
like
liked
it.
it.
I like the style and everything. I just don't like it.
I
That's
will make a
understandable.
comment. Sword and Shield is when I really got into like competitive Pokemon. I don't know.
Really?
I got
Okay.
really into
I
like
I
Pokemon
just couldn't
breeding.
get into it. Maybe I didn't finish the game. Okay, I will say I didn't finish the game because I just couldn't get through it.
Yeah, I mean, I like how the recent Pokemon games are pretty quick, like Sword and Shield and.
Oh yeah, I do.
Sword and
I
Violet
played
very
some
fast.
Arceus. Arceus is fun.
It's a good
I like
game.
I spent so much time on that. But
Judah?
that's when Sword and Shield is when I got into like Pokemon competitive. That's pretty cool.
For me, let's see. My least favorite Pokemon. Just because I had a lot of issues with this Pokemon when I played Nuzlocke, I will say either Throw or Sock, one of those two. Because I always forget about counter, and I would always like fucking like hit them with a physical move, and they will knock my Pokemon out afterwards. And I don't know, I just hated dealing with them, and I always kept forgetting how to like keep in mind do not hit them with the physical attack, and they would always get my ass. So I would say them because I don't know. They just kill a lot of my Pokemon because I'm bad. From there, least favorite gen. Ooh. I'll be completely honest. I did not play Sword. I skipped that one. I don't know why. Like I even to this day I haven't had like it hasn't even intrigued me. That's the only game I have not played. I got into playing Gen 5 because other than Sword and Shield, Black and White were the games I hadn't tried out yet. And I recently tried Black and White for a Nuzlocke, and even then I enjoyed the story for Black and White. So I don't know, something about Sword and Shield, it just like never got my attention. And the whole controversy with the Pokedex and all that kind of other stuff, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wait for the next gen, and that's when I played
that too. They just like
Arceus
kind of
and-
downgrade the games.
That's when I played Arceus and then Scarlet and Violet, and that's
Yeah.
why I got back into the grind of it.
Really?
That was quick. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Honestly,
Ready
yeah.
for that.
Sock can do that. Honestly, I hate Sock
You could
or
cut it.
throw.
Cut.
Or not.
Leave
All
it in.
right. I don't really have a least favorite game because I haven't played most of them, so I feel like I can't really have an opinion on that. I kind of don't love the newest generation. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like they dropped the ball on a lot of the designs of the newest generation. I feel like they could have come out with some really cool stuff, and like it was kind of lackluster. Like playing Scarlet, I feel like some of the like newer stuff was just kind of like, oh, in my opinion. So maybe that's my least favorite. I'm not really sure. Then my least favorite Pokemon overall. I don't know. There's a lot of those little guys I really fucking hate. But design-wise, probably Nosepass. Hate that guy. I hate that guy so much.
You know who I really like from the newer gen?
Who?
I will just put up a picture.
Okay.
Frick,
Change your background to the Pokemon.
this guy. Wait. Skull Villain. He has a cool design.
Is he a
That's
pepper?
Pokemon?
Yeah,
I've
it's a
never seen
Pokemon.
that.
It's that Pokemon.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
That's
It-
cool.
it's
It
literally just
doesn't
a
change
plant.
my mind, though.
I know. I mean, it's
It
just
doesn't
a plant,
convince
but,
me.
Like,
I don't know, when I
overall,
saw
I
It looks
agree,
like a
though.
Mario character.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Like,
to be honest.
that is going to come out of a pipe.
Yeah, no, it does kind of look like that. All right.
I will agree with you that a lot of the newer designs have been like, okay, they're running out of ideas.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
They're
Definitely.
like pretty, like scrolling through it, they're pretty lame.
Yeah.
Or
All right.
Clodsire.
All right.
That's cool.
Let's go on to our next pick because we still got a few more questions in this section. All right, so if Pokemon were real, which would be your partner? For me, it's easy. I would still pick Mimikyu. Mimikyu's my favorite Pokemon, but I also feel like Mimikyu is like my spirit Pokemon. Like I feel like we understand each other, you know? So I feel like that would be the Pokemon that would choose me. So I'm going to choose Mimikyu.
Hey guys, did you know that in terms of male human and female
No,
Pokemon
stop.
breeding?
No, this is
Vaporeon
not what
is
we
the-
mean by your Pokemon partner. If you were a trainer, who would be your partner?
You will be canceled, sir.
I know, right?
Canceled on the spot.
He's gonna get me
It's
canceled.
gonna be the it's gonna be the same Dragonite.
Yeah, I feel like most people would probably choose their favorite, but you never know. You never know.
If Pokemon were real, realistically, I would say Ditto because it can literally be every single one. But if I really have to choose one, I would say Hoopa, because
Hell yeah.
they can use their rings to
You could
I could
Teleport.
fly around on
I
Dragonite.
love Hoopa.
That'd
Yeah,
be
but
so
like,
cool.
But like, you really gotta hold on because like Dragonite is fast. But if you have Hoopa, you could just walk.
I
right
would
through the
get like
Hoopa.
a
It's like
saddle.
Doctor Strange,
I get like a custom saddle that I kind of just like whoop, put myself in type of thing.
or in case, yeah. Hoopa
I go to the
straight up
grocery
just
store on
goes
Dragonite.
ring.
All right, for me, I will obviously I would like I like to say Charizard because well they can fly as well, and it'll be really convenient. But actually, that's my second choice. My first choice is Rotom because
Yeah,
they
you
can
can turn-
change. They can change into every like typing. They have like the regular ghost electric type, but then they also have like
Portable
the water
dishwasher.
one, the fire one, the flying one. Just like they can change depending on what utilities you have close by or that you can give it. So I would say Rotom just based on like
Rotom can
like
live in my PC.
yeah. And like essentially we all have like smartphones and like Rotom phone is like a thing and all the newer. So it's like imagine having an even smarter phone.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Just putting AI in your phone.
I can see it.
Listen, yeah.
I can see
Eh,
it.
I want to go
I mean,
first for the next question.
that's the reality. We got an AI in our search engine.
Yeah. Boom. I don't know. I think like Rotom would be really
Jub and Tuna were on the same page here. A little
utility.
bit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
Having a Pokemon in your phone just seems like a little
That's what the Pokédex is now.
Hmm.
It's a Rotom.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
All right. I have some passionate opinions about
So
half of this
do
next
I.
one. Which of the villain teams is your favorite and least favorite?
I want to go first.
No, because I just
Alright,
have to
yeah.
let out my least
Yeah,
favorite.
you got it. I already know what it is.
It's
'cause
Team
I got
Yell. Fuck those guys. I hate Team Yell. If you didn't play Sword and Shield, you wouldn't know Team Yell, which is a good thing because I hate them. And I have no specific reason, I just don't like them. So I just had to let it out. Anyway, Jub, you can also
Well,
let it
my
out.
favorite villain team was probably Team Plasma because their whole plan was to recreate a new world using the Trio Space Pokemon and the Trio Lake Guardians. Well, the Trio Lake Guardians to capture the Trio Space Pokemon and then using the Trio Space Pokemon to create a new world. But I thought it was fascinating. But my least favorite villain team would also have to be Team Yell because they serve no purpose at all in the
You're
game
so
other than to
stupid.
discourage you and cheer for Marnie.
Yeah.
Like, Marnie is a great character. I'm so upset that her following.
Me too.
was
I love
Team Yell.
Marnie so much. It's so sad. Yeah, they are awful.
They were useless. That's it.
You wanna go first, guy?
He seems deep in thought over
Sure.
there.
Sure. Team Plasma because they're the only ones that really had a good plan.
Yeah.
Leave it at that.
Oh, at least favorite.
I
yeah,
don't think they actually had because they just wanted to let Pokemon free. Like they weren't really that bad, but they actually had like more reason to it. They just were kind of shitty people and abused Pokemon, kind of like
Yeah.
Nita.
I like the whole Team Plasma storyline. They were cool.
Yeah.
How about a least favorite one? You have a least favorite?
Oh, least favorite team? Oh, I actually didn't think about that.
Well, if
Yeah,
when
you
think
can
about
go.
it, I can.
We can
Yeah,
come back.
you
We can come back.
All right. So my favorite would be either the Gen 4 ones, obviously Team Plasma as well, or actually one of the things I really liked about the Scarlet and Violet was the story. I thought they had a really good story, in my opinion.
Me too. I agree with that.
Because the villains, they're like more like outcasts. They weren't necessarily like villains. So it was like a nice twist to the whole like, oh, I'm just angry with the world. It's like, I don't know. I like the whole storyline, so I'll give an honorary mention to Scarlet and Violet, like the villains from them.
You know, it's funny.
I agree with
because
that.
Scarlet and Violet and also Sword and Shield both had two useless teams. Or
You think they were
villain
useless?
teams. Who's the villain team for Sword and Shield?
Team Meow.
Yeah, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So there was them, and also I want to say not useless. That like all the other teams in the prior generations, they all wanted to like conquer the world with
Mhm.
everything, and then you just have them like normal people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well,
I like the
because
Scarlet and Violet one though, because I feel like it was a different twist to the villains because they weren't like really villains.
Yeah.
and to add to that, it was like because there's so many storylines in that game, then you have the one focus was like this one guy who took things too far, and then that was like the main quote unquote villain. So these were like more like within like the school, I guess, since it's all about a school and everything. Like those were like more like the outcasts that were deemed villains,
Mhm.
but they were just misunderstood. And
Yes.
then the main priority, once you got everything sorted out, would be like the main final boss kind of thing. And I felt like that was really like nice about the whole game itself because and like everything kind of piled up together, and then it's like, oh, okay, here's the final reward is the final like bad guy of the whole story.
Yeah. And I like how they had their own separate storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was separate from like even just like the main stuff. So they like you really got to highlight each character that was like a part of the team, you know, which I really liked about the game as well.
Yeah.
They all got their moment.
Yeah, I like that's what I like about the game a lot. Story in itself. So my least favorite, and I'll be quick with that. It is my least favorite would be either Gen 2. Funny enough, even though I love Gen 2, because they are like, oh yes, we're going to revive Team Rocket's legacy, and it's just a bunch of like nobodies that are trying to basically get Team Rocket back, and they failed. So there wasn't anything original about
Boring.
the villains about Team Rocket. Like at least Gen 1 was like, oh, Team Rocket, and they had this whole like conglomerate. And then Gen 2 was like, oh, let's just try to duplicate that instead of being its own new thing. Like Gen 3, Gen 5, even though I say Gen 5 is like another honorable mention of like they have a really good villain in Gen 5. A really good core group of people in Gen 5. But like Gen 2 and Sword and Shield, well, I didn't play Sword and Shield, but I'll say Gen 2. Yeah.
Did you think of one, Sky? You don't have to have a least favorite.
I don't really have one.
That's okay.
I'll
That is totally fine. Okay, but what about rivals and gym leaders? So obviously there's lots of people to choose from. My least favorite rival is Hop. Maybe this is a good thing that you guys didn't play Sword and Shield because I actually
did
have some
fucking see Hop.
I do have some
fucking
pretty
hate Hop.
polarizing opinions about how much I hate the people in Sword and Shield, but Hop is the worst rival, I think. He's so annoying.
Hop literally okay. I have so many complaints about him.
Yeah, I
I
feel
will
like
let you-
Hop
I'll
is
let you
just
talk.
annoying.
I'm
I don't know.
sorry. I'm
No, it's
sorry.
fine. No, it's
I
fine.
could go on a whole rant.
I dislike Hop. I think that he's a boring character. I think he sucks. I think he's a crybaby. And I just didn't really enjoy his character at all. I really like the newest game. Like I said, I haven't played most of the games, so most of my opinions come from like a total of like 4 Pokemon games. So don't have to listen to me. But I do like the newest game. I don't remember her name. Who's the rival in the newest game? Scarlet and Violet?
Hold on.
Spanish girl, I forget.
Yeah, she's super cute. And I
Yeah,
actually enjoy her. She doesn't like irritate me. Like her lines are like good.
Ramona.
Yeah. I really like her. I think that she's probably my favorite
Yeah, she was
rival.
the one
Ramona.
that's very.
Ramona.
I just said that.
Yeah, she's just like she's just cool. I really
She
like
seemed
her.
very like I'm gonna be the Pokemon master, and like actually does it.
Yeah. And in terms of gym leader, I don't really have opinions on gym leaders, so I will refrain from answering that. So whoever wants to go next can go right ahead.
There wasn't any rival that I like particularly hated. I mean, I can also agree with Hop because all he did was complain about how I was beating him up every time we battled. But
He's a big crybaby.
yeah. So that's it for like rivals. But when it comes to favorite gym leader, I would probably have to be like Lance or Iris or Raihan, which are basically anyone of the dragon types as their team typings, because dragon types are cool.
They're also hella
Yeah.
strong every time.
Yeah, they're always the like last gym leader that like have dragon typings, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I
I
agree.
didn't struggle with any of them because I'm a Pokemon master, so yeah, shit.
To add to that, favorite rival, I would say either Nimona, and for some reason, like Wally gets a lot of shit, but I always finding like somewhat compelling. So I'm gonna give like honorable mention to Wally as a rival. But I really like Nimona's character because she was like not only is like she's pretty much like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing kind of thing. Like she also like in the beginning of the story, she says, "Oh, I have a team already, but I'm starting off with this. Like, I'm gonna get a new team so that we're in the same level playing field." So a lot of that how she's kind of like already experienced
Yeah.
and eager. So I really like about the character about that. Least favorite. Well, I didn't play Sword and Shield like I mentioned, so I'm gonna put it a hop. Uh, Honestly, anyone else? I really can't think of like annoying rivals apart from that. Oh, um, X and Y. There were like three like rivals you had in total, or like three like there's a group of three of them that were following you around and stuff like that. Um, I
Oh,
just thought they were kind of
Sharon
annoying.
and all them.
Yeah, I thought they were
Yeah.
annoying, but I'm not sure if to the same level as Hop. But I'll put them just because I actually played the game. So, and then gym leader, I would say Cynthia is like my favorite because technically you're mentioning Harry's mentioning about the whole dragon thing. Like, I believe Cynthia is like one of the most difficult gym leaders,
Yeah, she was
the
probably
champions. Period.
the hardest fight in like most of the games.
Mm-hmm.
Because I
And
did
I feel,
struggle. I actually struggled with her when first
Mhm.
time playing Pokemon.
and I feel like she's like she's been like that kind of like, oh, if you're looking like the champion to be from all the champions so far, and even in the anime and then the games, it's been Cynthia.
Yeah,
She's
she's that
badass.
bitch.
Yeah.
She is.
And least favorite, honestly, the one from Y, the champion from Y was kind of like, eh. And same
I
with
didn't
the
know the
one from
champions
this
were
from this game. I can forget her name for the one from Y, but she's like kind of forgettable. That's
Oh,
probably the reason why.
the octopus looking lady.
Yeah, and then the one also from Scarlet and Violet. Actually, funny enough, Gita, I think it is. She's like pretty easy beat in my opinion. So
Yeah.
Nice.
Guy.
Everyone answered, right? No, Sky
I
didn't
know.
answer.
My
Sorry.
favorite rival is N.
It was a rival. Yeah, it
Yep.
was.
Yeah. My least. I don't really have a least favorite rival.
That's fair.
Well, I get. I don't know. Gary's kind of fucking annoying.
My man's Gary.
Um,
What about champions or like
favorite champion is Cynthia. You can't go wrong with Cynthia.
Yeah, you
There's
can't really.
no-
She's a baddie.
Yeah. I don't really a least favorite or my favorite. I could also say for my favorite Brock. Brock and Cynthia. That is just a legendary battle waiting to happen.
Brock.
Yeah, Brock. Nobody can beat Brock.
I've always found it. Speaking of Brock, I've always found it so fun because, like, I obviously like I started playing Pokemon when I was like didn't know the type differences or whatever. So I was like, why am I having a hard time choosing the fire starter against and then fighting Brock as one of the first gyms? It's like, why is this so hard? Why is it not dying? It's like, oh wait, type differences. So, but yeah.
Nice. All right. Now we can get into the fun stuff. All right. Okay, so as soon as we started talking about doing this podcast about Pokemon, it was basically like decided right away that we were going to talk about Pokemon theories and just like lore in general, which is something that I'm not really knowledgeable about. So I'm really excited to listen to this and learn some new things about Pokemon. that I've never heard of before. Maybe get in on the theories, because I do love a theory for anything, and I love lore. So we have some fun ones that we're going to talk about. And I know that these guys are like super excited to talk about these things. But we're going to do a couple different ways. Some of these theories they're just going to touch on and talk about it, describe it a little bit. And then there's going to be like a couple theories that we're going to like go into full discussion on. So this is going to be super exciting, but we can go ahead and start off. Justin has a couple of interesting theories to start us off with if he wants to go ahead. He was doing research on these and taking notes beforehand, so I know that this is going to be very well prepared.
Okay, so that was pretty loud. Findable items. So you know how like when you're walking around the Pokemon game, you see a random Pokeball, you go up to it, you pick it up.
Yes.
Yeah, the theory says that those items aren't actually placed there. People are saying that those items are from trainers that lost it because they met their ultimate demise. They either got kidnapped by Pokemon, by people, they either got killed or they got, Yeah, there was a whole storyline about how all these lost items that we're picking up, like a random Pokeball on the ground, a random potion on the ground, are just from traders that kind of just lost their way. Yeah.
A little
So,
spooky.
yeah.
A little intense.
A little bit. A little creepy pasta there.
Lovely.
The next theory I'm gonna be touching up on is Ho-Oh grants Ash's wish. So in one of the episodes on the anime, Ho flies over, right? Spreads his little beautiful wings, little rainbow, little sparkles down. Ash sees it and witness it, and they say that when you witness Ho-Oh, um, Ho-Oh grants you a wish, and Ash's whole story is to be a Pokemon master. So and like hang out with Pokemon and just be with Pokemon the whole time. So Ho ended up granting Ash eternal youth, which leads to my next theory. Ash is in a coma. So let me just bring up my notes real quick because I have a whole paragraph.
Oh,
The
he's
Ash coma
prepared.
theory. So in the anime, Ash got hit with a supercharged thunder attack from Pikachu. When he got swarmed by a flock of Spearows. So Pikachu used a very deadly Thunderbolt to defeat the flock of Spearows, which caused him to go into a coma. His whole adventure is basically a dream he is having. Evidence behind this is, if you watch the anime, Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny seems to be consistently repeated throughout each town. And that was probably his last known encounter with those two in his hometown, Palatown, so he can only fabricate the image of those two in every town he visited. Ash's subconscious viewed the Pokemon centers and police stations safe, so whenever he felt he was in danger, his mind automatically just created copies of Nurse Joy and Officer Jenny located at all those stations. They represent stability and just overall protection in his mind. And on top of like representation, the people that he traveled with or encountered could also represent aspects of himself, um, or my aspects of himself he can enjoy but cannot associate with himself. So basically, for example, Brock. Brock in the anime is known to care for Misty and Ash as they travel. So this could represent Ash's like fatherly instinct on like wanting to take care of people, this and that. But Brock also was very like uh he went for every girl that he's seen in the anime, which could represent Ash's like sexual drive per se.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Where's this theory
so-
going?
Yeah, where are we going with
Listen,
this?
listen. So since Ash went into his coma, as a virgin. You know, maybe his
Wh-
mind
wh-
was like, oh,
How did we
can't
get
have
here?
kids. It's just a whole thing. You can't have kids without a loving person. So that's when, in later generations, Dawn comes in because the whole like,
What about Misty?
fuck Misty.
Like-
She Misty represented there was a whole thing
Can't
I can't
believe
remember, but
this.
she like represents toxicity or something like that because she was literally always yelling at him. And then yeah. So anyways, Dawn
Doesn't
comes in.
every rival yell at him? Like every friend
No,
he has yells at him?
no. So Dawn comes in, right, and like Dawn represents what he could have gotten when it comes to like relationships and love and all that. So yeah, that kind of just anyone he traveled with represent aspects of himself that he can enjoy. Like for example, another thing is Professor Oak or Gary Oak. Professor Oak, same thing. No, Gary Oak was something that Ash wanted to be, just like, you know, a Pokemon know-it-all. And then there's also Professor Oak, which represents like a father figure that he could have had because it never really showed. So there's that because Professor Oak was with him throughout, you know, wherever, and then later generations, other professors. But one strong evidence that may make this true, the whole coma theory, is that his age seems to remain unchanged throughout every generation. In the first generation, or like in the beginning of his adventures, he states that he is 10 years old and has kept his young boy image of himself. Here, I have a image. Let's see. All right. Let me save this real quick. Put it up here. So Ash maintained his image of looking like a younger boy, but just in different detail. So, right here. Oh, it didn't change. Why? What the heck? Open. Why? Okay. Well, anyways, it doesn't want to show. But if you look at all the character designs,
Yeah, just show me the picture and I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, I'll send you the picture. But if you look at all the designs, he basically looks the same throughout every generation. Just a little older, you know, little face changes because you know art gets better
Yeah.
over time. Where did I? He also seems to reset his progress in every region because he can only reach up to a certain amount of experience since he never knew the success of beating the Pokemon League and becoming the Pokemon Master. So you know how like you can get your starter again in a region, this and that, becoming inexperienced. Which in the later recent episodes he ends up winning the league, but that's besides the point. We're not talking about that. We're talking about his coma, which causes him to be in this endless cycle of like progress because that's all he knows. So his mind just only knows to get to a certain point, but then fail every time he tries to finish. So that's why in a lot of the animes, you don't see him win the league, or he just always loses. Or if he goes into a gym battle, he loses the first time, he trains, and then rebattles and wins, and it's just a constant repeat every generation. So yeah, that's the Ash comic there, and he's basically just asleep, and this is all a dream.
Bruh.
Interesting.
So one we could theorize that with him finally winning,
It woke him up?
that he's waking up from his coma soon. Huh? Maybe. Like after all this time, he's finally getting back from the coma.
Yeah. So him winning is probably him like realizing that he's not actually awake. So him winning the league and Pikachu's Thunderbolt not affecting him is slowly just like every detail of it is just slowly going away because he can finally get a sense of himself. There you go. So he basically looks the same in a lot of the generations.
Except for one. There is one different among them.
Yeah, this guy
One
looks-
of these guys is an imposter.
This
for
one
sure.
looks a little funny. This is like the ditto of every generation. I'm pretty sure. I don't know where this is from, to be honest.
It's
But-
from
Who is that
New
guy?
Journey or whatever.
New
I-
Journey?
I think it's from Sun and Moon.
Is it?
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
'cause in
yeah!
Sun and Moon, he's darker. He has very.
I think it is Sun.
Like he looks like he was an island boy.
I
Yeah,
didn't, boy.
that's the Pokemon coma theory.
Nice.
Insane.
Y'all want to talk about some dead Pokemon now?
Let's go.
Dead Pokemon?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Mimikyu's dead.
Whoa,
So,
you're not wrong.
in Pokemon Red and Blue, about midway through the game, you battle Gary on the ship named the SSNE. His team includes a level 19 Pidgeot, a level 16 Raticate, a level 18 Kadabra, and a level 20 version of his starter Pokemon. Most of these Pokemon are evolved versions of Pokemon he fought you with earlier in the game, including Raticate that became Raticate before your battle on the SSN. However, the next time you meet Gary, his Raticate is gone. Instead, he has a level 25 Pidgeot, a level 23 Gyarados, and a level 22 Growlithe, and a level 20 Kadabra. So what happened to his Raticate? Some Pokemon conspiracy theorists believe the answer lies at the location of the player's struggles against Gary. And there's a revival battle in the Pokemon Tower where it's the location of Pokemon graves. And he was sitting at one.
It's Raticate. He died.
He did.
I didn't even know Pokemon could die.
Oh, yeah,
Pokemon
they-
faint, but
Yeah,
No, they can die.
no, they
They
faint.
can die.
like die.
Oh
die.
yeah, what about the Pokemon Tower?
Those are just props.
So what? The whole Cubone thing is like just you just did it for like prop, putting the
Oh yeah,
cadaver-
there is no dead mother. The dead mother was a prop.
Oh my god.
Yep, that's a prop.
That's insane.
I can't even tell if that's a theory anymore. If the dead mother's skull.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was a Pokédex entry.
I think that the baby that Kangaskhan is holding is actually Cubone.
Oh.
Because if you take
Also, that's
off
another
the skull,
theory, right?
Oh yeah, I have more theories. I kind of forgot.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. N is actually a Pokemon. Because he can speak to animals, and it's theorized that he's actually a Zoroark. That he's transformed into N.
That's the
See if I can get a
Pokemon.
quick
How about
there's a lot more detail on it, but I would have to go into it a lot more than I really want to right now. So that leaves the final one I have, and that is Gengar being Clefable's sentient shadow.
I like this one.
So a lot of the ghost types, they have really messed up backgrounds. And while there isn't a lot of this is based off the fact that they are very similarly shaped, other than the fact of their I guess the little hair and the tail and their stats are very similar in the Pokédex. Also, in Gen 6, they added the fairy type. Uh, th- they're unable to hit each other with the stab moves due to the mutual ghost normality. Shit. Okay, I lost my spot.
You're good.
Anyways, yeah. It's mostly the fact that they're opposites and that they're very similar, shaped and type.
I like this.
They-
I believe
Very
this.
quick. I also believe this. If you really bring up a back-to-back picture of Gengar and Gotenable,
They're similar in size, right?
no, they're very similar.
Yeah, if you get the Pokemon stats of the Pokédex stacks.
Like if you look at here, hold on.
Sorry, I'm just a little bit high too.
That is A-okay. Jump, are you pulling up a picture?
Yeah, but we can continue. I'll just put it up when they find a good one.
Sure.
Alright. That's fine. I like this one, though. This one is easy for me to digest, and I believe it.
Here you go.
Oh.
Desktop. Boom, and nope, that's sharing my screen. Don't want to do that. Just want to change the background. Yep, this and this. Okay, maybe not. Where is it? Save.
I'm just pointing up. It's like, oh, there you go.
We could start with Ash's potential's fathers.
Yeah. In the meantime.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So, Ash's potential fathers, right? One thing that Jubb previously mentioned with doing one of the series was the fact that Ash, throughout the whole anime, there's no whereabouts of where his father is. There's a lot of theories as to who it could potentially be. Some of them are speculating they could be Pokemon. Some of them are speculating it could be Giovanni, even, to a certain extent.
I don't like that guy either.
Which is, and I'm gonna briefly mention on that, is that there's a reason why Team Rocket is always going to every single region, following Ash and whoever Ash is with, and that's because they're following orders from Giovanni to keep an eye on Ash. Because
This makes sense.
yeah, because I guess because Giovanni's Ash's father, but be like,
But what about their obsession with Pikachu?
it's just the fact that they're still a criminal organization, right? And just the way of like, okay, we can find a way to still do our thing, but at the same time, hey, can you please keep an eye on my son? I mean, it is a theory overall, but it could explain why they're always falling. And it started with like Giovanni. Oh God.
There we go.
They're very bizarre.
Yeah. That's interesting. So that's one. The other one is the theory that Ditto is a failed Mew clone. Pretty much with Mew,
I love this one.
Mew can copy a lot of the different, like it can learn a lot of the moves, pretty much all the moves that you can think of in the Pokemon
It is
games.
every move, isn't it?
Yeah, I think pretty much every move. So with Ditto, it's kind of the same thing, but instead it copies. They also copy the physical aspect of it. They will transform, having the ability to transform into the Pokemon it's trying to mimic. And kind of as a side note to this as well, Ditto was there's a theory that Ditto is also used, was created to help repopulate some of the Pokemon going extinct in I guess in the Pokemon world. Like Kangaskhan was one that was a theory that was like Kangaskhan Kangaskhan. There weren't many Kangaskhan's out there, so they were using Ditto to try to repopulate some of the extinct Pokemon, which would make sense because a lot of times in the Pokemon world, in Pokemon games, they use Ditto as a way to make eggs. Like a lot of people use like Ditto as a way to make eggs in the Pokemon games because you can use it for either or option. So that's another theory.
I would like to state that Ditto and Mew both have the same shiny sprites. So
Yeah.
this is the normal one. Normal, and then the two on the bottom. Like they're literally the same color.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot of similarities there. Now, for a really interesting one that I found out, and I want to share this one. Pokemon War. So, what do I mean by Pokemon War? There was a Pokemon War way before the first gen games even occurred. This is like way before we follow Ash's journey in the anime, or even way before you follow Red's journey in the first generation game. And basically, something happened way before all these games and animes that made it so that things were really odd in the way the games transpired. First of all, fresh water really like in the game it's expensive, or more expensive than a regular potion, because something happened that could have potentially contaminated the water in the regions, right? The second thing is TMs, right? What do we have, like a machine thing that you can teach to a Pokemon to attack others? It was used to be able to attack other Pokemon or other nations, maybe. Which brings me to another point. Why are other regions so separate? Like, they're so close to one another, but why are they so separate in terms of, like, there's even different Pokemons that exist in these regions? Like, they don't even know, oh, wait, there's all these other Pokemon that we haven't discovered in all these regions. They're like, everything's so separate from one another. Not only where it's like, oh, they're discovering new kinds of evolutions, like with Mega Evolutions, or with, like, Friendship Evolutions, like, Gigantamax, all these kind of things, right? There's all these different things happening in every single region, but there's no way like that no one else knows about the other regions in general, which makes it theorizing that there was this whole war that happened, that basically the knowledge about all these things was kept in secret for a long time, until obviously more in the newer games that it started becoming more of like a common thing, like, oh, all these different kind of evolution types or discoveries that were existing or available.
Well,
to add to
can
that,
I say something to that? Isn't
Sure,
a lot like the they're a separate universe, two separate universes for the Mega Evolutions and the non-Megas?
oh yeah, that's a theory, but
Oh, that's a
talking about-
theory? I thought that was an actual thing.
well,
Like with the multiverses
mhm.
and
Well,
Pokemon.
I think it's another theory that's
Okay.
it's been touched on upon, but I didn't really look into.
Okay, sorry. I didn't
no, you're
want to
fine.
interrupt.
The other one was every time you start in every new region, every new you were given an empty Pokedex, meaning that for like they don't have any knowledge of the Pokemon that were known from before in other different regions. So basically, a lot of times, it's not even about learning about the new Pokemon. It's basically trying to recover information that could have been lost in the war. Like, there was no knowledge about the other regions or where this Pokemon originally came from.
What if the war caused the multiverse?
That could also be a thing. Now, the other thing is all Pokemon regions have a different PC programmer who gets credit for doing the same thing that Bill did in the first region. So why is like Bill, Lynette, Bridget, Bebe, and Amanita all being given credit for doing the same thing? They don't know of the fact that everyone did the thing of creating a PC where you can store Pokemon. They have no knowledge about this thing. So it's like, why is it like they're so like divided, and like they're doing the same thing and they don't have knowledge. The other one is like kind of like not as important, but it's like interesting as the games go on that it kind of gets more explored. Is that for some reason there's in the original Pokemon with the Pokemon War, it explains why all these locations, all these regions have Pokemon gyms and Pokemon centers, but there's like not really any forms of like entertainment per se. More of the newer games have that as an option because something on the fact that since it's been a long time since the war happened, after we're seeing all these new regions, that the regions are giving the opportunity to kind of explore the possibility of having an entertainment as an option, instead of like thinking about the war or trying to recover from it. So yeah, that's one of the theories about like how a lot of stuff happened within the war, and that's how it goes to theorize that with the war, that's how like the whole like concept of like alternate universes happen as well, and how like what could happen if the war went this way. Maybe Mega Evolution's work were explored more. Maybe Gigantamax evolution were explored more. Yeah, that's pretty much
Interesting.
Yeah.
That whole concept just reminds me of this one anime that I used to watch. But anyways, besides the point, it was just like the whole war thing, two different generations, two multiverses, megas, and all that. Yeah, one was like futuristic, one, but yeah.
And the other thing I was mentioning. So one last thing, I forgot this part. So it's really interesting how a lot of these regions were technically close to one another, right? How is it the people of Kanto, right? They have no knowledge of like 100+ new Pokemon available just like a relatively short distance of just crossing the sea or like flying across a different island just to be able to get all these new Pokemon.
Yeah, because there's a lot of flying Pokemon.
Yeah, so it's like maybe it was like the fact that they were unwilling to share the information about new Pokemon because some of them could have been more advanced.
Yeah, because Unova ended up being like a later region, and they mentioned that too, like that it ended up becoming a region way later than all the others.
Because even some, and this has been kind of proven in the games, because even like Unova, right? And also X and Y, I forget which one has like the castle. There's a Pokemon castle you can visit, and it tells you a little bit of the history. And there's like something talking about the Pokemon War that happened. Actually, it was with what's that fairy Pokemon that they have like in the story? And that's the one guy who's kind of like dead.
Yeah, really. I know who. I know who. Clefairy. Wait, no. Fable. No.
Floette. I think it's Floette.
Floette.
Flabebe or something like that. There's a Pokemon.
Yeah, something like that. It's the one with the little flower.
Like a little flower, yeah. There's a special one of them, and then there's this one guy who's like from the past, or he can like, and then he's talking about like a Pokemon War. So it's also referencing like something that happened a long time ago. Which
I think this Pokemon War is important.
Which also explores the idea of like why haven't fairy Pokemon been introduced as a concept before then? Like when talking about like the fact that it was a Pokemon War, it's like, oh wait, there's this new type, fairy type. So maybe there was all these Pokemon were fairy types, but they hadn't introduced the concept because lack of research, and that's because some regions were keeping that a secret.
Interesting.
So, yeah. Pokemon's not what you think it is.
There's so much. I feel like I just like learned so much, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Just scratch the surface.
I know, and there's like probably so much more because this is like such a long running.
Oh yeah, there's
franchise.
Like huge like icebergs that you can go down if you want to go down that rabbit hole. There, videos going.
I'm sure that we could do a whole nother podcast.
I don't
episode
think we
just
could do
on
another.
Theories.
We could. I don't think we could do all of them though.
Yeah.
Ever.
No, probably could
The
be its
poke-
own podcast.
Really?
Just Pokemon theories.
The
Yeah.
pokecast. Just talking about Pokemon theories. Yeah.
Theory, Poke Theory Cast. I
Well,
don't
I'm
know.
glad we at least scratched the surface of some things. I'm sure that was enjoyable for you all to let out, because how often do you get to nerd out about Pokemon, right?
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for being here and for nerding out and for teaching me so much more about Pokemon that I didn't know. I really appreciate it. I didn't really talk much this time, but that's okay. Let the smart people do the talking on the things that they are the most knowledgeable about, I guess. But thank you, Tuna, Justin, and Sky for joining me on the second episode. We've been planning this for a really long time, so I'm really excited that we finally sat down and did it. But you can find them all on the Twitch and YouTube and all of the things. Of course, I will link all of their social medias as I did last time. So go check them out. If you really like Pokemon, Tuna streams a lot of Pokemon. Maybe we'll convince these other two to do the same. But we'll see. You should just go follow them anyway, just in case. I'll also put their little things up on the screen right now so that you can see it. But until next time, I'm not sure what our topic is going to be next time yet, but we will see you soon. Maybe you will see these faces in the future, I'm sure, on other episodes. But you can follow the podcast Instagram. It's at Spill the Coffee Pod. I'll put that on the screen too. And that's the
You're
only
just
social
putting
media that it
everything on the
has.
screen. Your screen's just gonna be like covered in stuff.
Yeah, it's just going to be layers and layers and layers of text, like a true professional.
Oh, yeah.
But I hope you all have a wonderful night or day. I guess it doesn't really matter when you watch this. I don't really know when I'm going to post it. But have a wonderful time of day wherever you are. And
Day, night, whatever.
see you next time.
Yeah. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching.